The Megillah says that at the time of Purim, we accepted that which we began a long time before. And that's about 900 years before the story of Purim, maybe 930, 940 years. We were in the desert and we accepted the Torah. But there it says that God took the mountain of Sinai and put it on top of us and said, if you accept the Torah, fine, and if not, this will be your gravesite. And the Gemara says from here we have a protest to the giving of the Torah because God forced us. Now this does not seem to be sane and rational, because the Torah describes the day of the giving of the Torah as God and Israel's wedding, God being the groom and Israel being the bride. Can you imagine? You come to your wedding day, you have your beautiful bride in a beautiful gown, and there's all the guests and the mechutanim, all of the family members, all of the friends, and whoever else wants to see this wedding. And you take a shotgun with it, and you point the shotgun to your bride's head, and you say, no, honey, if you accept this ring, fine. If not, I'm going to blow your brains out. Not much of a wedding, I don't think. So how is it possible to describe the giving of the Torah, that God, so to speak, took the mountain on top of us and threatened to bury us there? So we have to understand that this is not meant to be taken literally. The concept of a mountain is brought in the Talmud itself and in other areas in Kabbalah, that the mountain represents love. For Abraham, whose major quality was that he loved all people, he is called a mountain. Abraham is a mountain. Isaac is a field. And Jacob has borders without end. So Abraham is a mountain, and the mountain of Abraham is love. And what happened was that God showed us so much love that it was impossible to resist. And that's what happens at a wedding. It's impossible to resist. And so, later on, one can question, was this a rational and sane commitment? And so at the time of Purim, where we were under the thumb of one of the greatest kings and empires ever, and every single Jew, everyone who was a believer in God and the Torah, was under the control of Ahasuerus and his viceroy Haman. And under those circumstances, not only didn't we change our religion, for the decree was only on those who believed in the Torah and denied idolatry. Someone who believes in the Torah and denied idolatry was called a Yehudi, because the name Yehuda has the 4 letters of God's name, Yud and the Hey and the Vav and the Hey. The only difference being we have the Daled, which indicates the will and the determination to continue on in the pathway of God. And that is a Yehudi, someone who is determined to keep the Torah as the Torah was given. And we had no second thoughts. And that's why, at the time of Purim, we finally accepted permanently this bond with the Creator. And that's why we're so happy on Purim, because this affirms who we are. When a person has no doubts as to who he is and what his commitment is and what it is he has to do, this brings the person great joy and great enthusiasm to overcome all the things in life. And there was a corresponding relationship with God. And today, our mitzvahs and the Torah that we study and the good deeds that we do bring about a change in the world. And the change that everybody's talking about is really the change that will come through Mashiach, which is the ultimate result of everything that we've done all throughout our history.